I don't lose this thing. Okay. Yeah, things are working. Hey, how about you? Come on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Happy Oyster Show. I am your host, Bart Burke, and thank you so much for joining today. Exciting. Safe words and ropes. Ropes and lines. Oh my. On the land, it's a rope. On the boat, it's called a line. I have absolutely no idea why that is. If you do, comment below after this thing is syndicated. If you like what you see, don't forget thumbs up and subscribe. Bring it on home. Who do we got in the house today? What are we doing? Where are we at? We got one person, that's it. Jiminy crickets. All right. Let me make sure things are working just fine. What happened here? Okay. That doesn't look right. I'm not going to worry about it. Off. Bang. Good. I thought I heard something. I wasn't quite sure. Bring it on home. How about you? All right, ropes, knots, and whatnot. We've been working overtime and a half, and we are producing a thing called the Swaged. And I want to show you guys how it's done. It works great. It's awesome. It's a lot better than a knot, but you still got to know a couple of knots. We're dealing with a really nasty, ugly day today. So we're inside the garage. We're going to make some gear. We've got these aquaculture cage baskets. We do spat on shell with these things up at work. And I had to make up a couple of new lines. A goes into B. Oh, you guys can't see that. Down a little bit. There we go. A goes into B. Obviously, you would put it all the way down, and that would go into here, and then you're going to pull up crisscross on the bottom. You get the idea, right? I hope so. Anyway, that's really what we're doing with 3 baskets or 5 baskets. The 3 basket one's getting this fancy ring and all of this, but we don't need that for the next direction that I want to go, which is just a big loop. Because we got a lot of these, and I don't really want to go through the expense of those and whatnot, but if I make a big loop, just a loop, about like that, about fat enough for a forklift to go into. And over here, so that's where we want the metal crimp. Bada boom. Here's how it's done. Start from the beginning. 3/4 inch pipe. Bada boom. We cut pieces with a pipe wrench. Whoops. I got a bucket full of them. That's okay. Not really. Ugh. Cut a bunch of these. Turn this up a little bit. You have to then, after you cut a whole bunch, you have to chamfer the end. Where's the camera on this thing? Over here? No, over here. That works pretty good, huh? So it's just chamfer. Now what do you do how do you chamfer that? Well, that's where it gets interesting. We got one of these things. Fits right in there. You better hold on to this with a pair of pliers, otherwise you're going to hurt yourself. Very important to get the burr off of that, okay? Next, cutting the rope. You now have prepared the coupling, the swage fitting, the whatever it is. It's ready to go to the next step. You just do a whole boatload of those things and keep them in a bucket. Bucket. Next, cutting of the rope. It's very important. 3/4 inch pipe, 1/2 inch rope. This is the rope we're using. 1/2 inch, 1,200 feet, blah, blah, blah. This happens to be floating rope. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, good morning. How do I know it's floating rope? Because it has the little yellow band. If it didn't have the yellow band, it would be sinking rope, which we have. I got a roll of that as well. We used both different types of rope for various different things, and again, for various different applications. In this application, it really doesn't matter whether it sinks or whether it floats, okay? But I just wanted to make sure that you understood what the difference is. Because if you were going to be seeding kelp lines, you would probably use floating, because anything that you can give it a little bit more buoyancy, it's going to help it out. All right. By the way, the kelp has done miraculously well. Unbelievable. I just want to go over a couple of quick knots before I go into cutting lengths of rope the same. This is an important one too. Every little step. Why do I do this? Maybe I'm doing this to train somebody. Maybe I'm doing this to help somebody. Maybe I'm doing this to explain how it's... Hey, bottom line is we could use this as an employee training video, can't we? Sure, pay the guy for an hour. Here's a half hour, watch this show. And then report back. And then proceed, and we'll do it, and then we'll go and we'll talk about it again 3 times, right? 3 times. It's all about the 3s. Talk about it, do it, talk about it again. Piece of rope. I want to put a loop in this rope. The rope is really long, right? And I want to put a loop within that rope. People would say, oh yeah, you just grab it like that, and you put it through here, and you go like that. Loop in the rope, there it is. I didn't have to do any kind of ending or any of that kind of stuff. A loop, this is really not a loop in the rope, even though it looks like a loop in the rope. Over a period of time, it's going to, number 1, slip, number 2, come undone, number 3, no way that you're going to be able to get it undone, okay? It might just choke right up to wherever it is. You're just not a reliable knot. And it's really not a knot in my book because you can't undo it. All right? That's kind of important. Undoing something. Safe words. Stop. All right, a loop in the knot. Here we go. I'm going to take that loop. I'm going to make it about the size of a basketball. I'm going to grab it right in the middle. I'm going to take this part. I'm going to go around. Oh boy, we're starting to get tied up here on my wrist. Looks like fun to me. Once. Twice. It might not have been a big enough loop. Hang on. Hang on. Hey, if at first you don't succeed, curse a little and try again. Let me go a little bit bigger of a loop. Okay, there we go. Loop. Once around. Twice around and through there. Now, I got to get my wrist out of there. You could do this a couple of different ways, but again, for the efforts of the show and safe words and knots and ropes and whatnot. Now, this part of knot tying is called dressing the line. Now, I'm not the best of knot tiers, I'll be honest with you guys. Plus, you know what else? This thing is not wet. You don't want, I'm making excuses, I know. Hang on a minute, let me just dress this thing up a little bit. Make it look pretty. It might take a little bit more time, but there it is. Boom, boom. In the middle, where I had that middle of that loop was, remember? There's the middle. Why do I have that as the middle? Well, number one, this happens to be a template, okay? When the rope is brand new, it's a little bit tougher to do, but you can still undo it. Loop in the line, okay? I use that knot pretty regularly for some various different things. One more time, here we go. Big basketball hoop. Once, twice, through, get your hand out of there, here and here. Whoop, shortened up on me. Still though, you just got to dress it a little bit, give it a little love. Be one with the rope. You must be the rope. Loop, able to be undone. Okay, after that, I know knot tying can be really monotonous. That's why I like to go into safe words, you know what I mean? It's like, I use that stoplight thing, you know? If I start talking about green trees, it's like, go, baby. When I get into those, you know, red balloons, we gotta stop. But there's always the happy sun, which is just right. Now, let me go into the next knot of choice. Bowline, okay? If you tie your oysters to the dock or to whatever and you use a bowline, it's not gonna come out. Here. That's it. How simple is that? Right? The rabbit comes in the hole. That's a bunch of crap. There it is there. Here. Whoops. And then back through there. Hang on. I want to make it so that pretty so that you guys get the idea. Just like in the book. Right? It's a little long there. Let me try that again one more time. This rope stick. Always over the top when you're doing the loop. Now, you know, when you're underneath the this or the that, you got to kind of try to interpolate or whatever. Over, though. This over. This comes back, under, and through. Now you want to get fancy, you could put it through, but there is the bowl. Extremely tough and tight. All right, enough of that knot stuff. 2 knots, that's all I'm going to go into. Please learn the 2, Mr. Employee. Next, you know why this has why not? Because it is the template. This is the template if you're going to put 3 of these together. This is the template for this, for making these. Now, when I say a template, it's just very important that everybody understands this. I learned this very, very young. And thank God it was only on a shed. It was a small shed. I was making roof rafters for the small shed. They said, here's the template, Bart. Cut a bunch of these. Okay, I took the template, I went to the place, I cut out one, held onto it, put the template to the side. I used the one that I just cut out of the template as the new template. And I kept doing that right down the line. Each time was a new template. Does that make sense what I just said? Well, none of them were the same. And by the time we got up there to putting them, Bart, what'd you do with the template? Oh, I put it over there. Well, did you use it? Well, yeah, I used it once and then I kept on going. Well, what do you mean? I kept using the next one as the next template. I don't know. I was probably about 13, 14 maybe. I was just getting good with a circular saw, you know, high school. Well, let me tell you what. By the end of the 8th, 9th, the roof was all kinds of becocked, and I learned my lesson that when you get a template, It's a template for a reason. And you don't lose the template, because if you do what I just told you, they get all different in length. Now, we're gonna cut a whole bunch of lengths of rope like this. How do you do it? Okay. Pretty simple. You have a template. Let me get to the end of this line. We were having so much fun before. And we have a tool for this. Come with me. That's why. See out there, I'm kind of embarrassed. It's getting to be a mess out here. I got to get on the stick. We got ice pin, old ropes. We got stuff that needs to get cleaned and painted, and oh, it never ends this time of the year. All right, so back at you. Maybe I could turn this like this. How's that? Does that work? Yeah. So far, so good. To here, to here. Boom. There we go. All right, so to there, right? We're going to go all the way to the end. And now I'm going to cut that right there, right? Right. Can you see that? Can you see it smoking as I rub it across there? Can you smell how bad it stinks? Now, that's my old end. That's my new end. There's my template, right? I'm gonna give this a little twisteroo, just a little dress. To kind of give it a little cone shape. I don't know where my rag went, because sometimes I just light it up on fire, but just give it a little cone. Looks like that. Perfect. Nice. Now, that is now my new template. No, it's not my new template. That one's done. We roll that up. We put that over here. We still have our template because it's got the blue in the middle, and we grab and we do it again, right? All right. I'm not going to do that again, but I am going to take this because I'm going to start to do that new 5 thing. I want to just give this a little rub around for that next step, that crimper step. The part that is patented so that you don't have to do an eye splice. We didn't patent it. The idea for this came from this really fancy line. It was expensive, and it's used on long line aquaculture gear. It's specifically designed for that, and they use a clip. They use that same type of clip a long line clip. I'm going to unplug this because the switch is broken on that. And the long line, really expensive line, and they put this thing on there and they swage it on there, and I'm like, well, I wonder if you could do it with a copper pipe, and yeah, lo and behold, you can. All right, so we got that kind of coned off a little bit. You should have a propane torch on hand to be able to give this a little tune up if you had to. And I give it a little, I have a rag just in case. I would like to put a loop in this about like that. Here we go. How am I going to do this? About there. Again, this is brand. Once I get my template and everything's set, then I just go into the masses, which we use these baskets for spat-on shell, these huge tanks. So maybe I can get a video on that at some point. All right, I put a little line there so I know what's going on. Bada boom, bada boom. Can you see here? It's not quiet. All by myself. Got no. Can't see. Yeah, you did that. All right, boom. One of these things that we have, I put it in the vise and ovalized it just a smidge, like that, here to here. Come through this way. Maybe it'll go. Maybe I won't have to heat it up. Sometimes you got to give it a little heateroo and then put it through. Where's my knot? There's my mark, right? So I want it about like that. I'm gonna put this to here like this. Now I'm gonna push and pull both. This vise is not attached to this. I had to move it off of my workbench, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I can't get it through there. It's like I said, it's too. If you do it rapidly off of the burner, then it's a lot better. But because we're farting around and talking and blah blah blah. My flint is just about dead. So I just, on an angle, don't, you know, here is hotter than down in, right where that blue part is right there. That's where the hot part is, if you didn't know that. Boom, that's all you need. Just give it a little twisteroo in the same way that it goes. Makes it a little bit easier. Be careful you don't burn your snout. Put it through there. It comes right through then. It's like a piece of cake. Let me undo that so you guys can see what's going on. Here's my line back here, so I got to do something here, maybe about like, yeah, that's not too bad. Right, so now, here comes the fun part. Just give it a little smush-roo, just a little one. Now, you're going to take our patented deal. Now, you could do this a different way, or, you know, just, hey, it's not that bad. Freddie welded up these guys here. We made these guys a while ago. This has been in operation for quite a while. That fits right in there. All right. Hit it once that way. Turn it around. Maybe hit it again that way. Bada boom. Tough as nails. You're like, yeah, sure it is, sure it is. It is tough as nails. Believe me, I have, and we put it through some tests. Obviously, with any kind of gear, you got to test it first. We've had failures of the clips. This is our collection over the last 5 years. Not too bad. I dropped one on the floor. 6 or 7 of them, where the clips fail. And as you can see, I've cut them loose, and every single one of them, not these things, failed. I think one of them maybe have slipped just a smidgen. This one. You can kind of see it slip just a little bit. But the clip failed before it slipped. After, maybe it was slipping, but we got the clip. The clip is tough stuff. Where is the one? Oh, here it is. Here's a line that we've been using for a while. Oh, there's that fancy look. Look, it's the knot that we just learned. Boom, these clips here, these are tough as nails. Long line clip. Everything has to be compatible with the right size line, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch, bum, 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 bum. Rope, knot, bowline, stoplight. Where am I at? What did I miss? Any questions, boys or girls? Now is the time. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and/or subscribe. How long have I been on? 24 minutes. Okay, which brings me to the next item of operator. Next item on the agenda. If anybody needs any kind of help at all, I'm here to help you. I'm not one of these gotcha guys. I'm not a whistleblower. I'm a helper. Recently, the FDA has been kind of cracking down on the DEC, and now the DEC is starting to crack down on us. For what reason? I have no idea. Not just me. I thought they were singling out me there a little bit ago, but it seems to be broader than that. They can't nail me too bad because I'm compliant as I compliant can be. And I give full transparency on what's going on. And I like to share it with all of you. If anybody needs help building a clean room, let me turn this around. Here's my clean room. Here's my cooler. And there's my clean room. Let's go inside for a half a second, okay? I'll help you build one, guys. It's not that big of a deal. It's within my garage. It comes off about 6 feet. I have an outside door right there. And I'm able to process oysters. I have a floor drain. I have no cracks in the floor. We have it impervious. This wasn't too bad in terms of price. We have a 3-base sink. We have a hand washing sink. We have electric. You don't necessarily have to have electric. You have a garbage can. And as you can see, it's a clean room. It's clean. This room is specifically and used only to clean oysters. Clean, count, cull oysters. In addition to all of those things that we just talked about, I put in a pretty high-performance, heavy-duty air conditioner with another little fancy device called the CoolBot. The CoolBot can get this room down to 38 degrees. No problem, even in the heat of the summer. So it can double as a cooler room, a walk-in. I put some steel shelves over here. We can put a lot of oysters. Expansion possibilities, absolutely. Put another addition on. Blow through this wall here and make a little cubby hole and hand it through. It's been thought out pretty well. Full transparency, guys. Other farmers gotta start. We gotta just. I don't know what to say. I try to get some answers from them, and it depends upon who is interpreting the law, which makes things pretty difficult. So I try to go to that absolute top standard. The only one responsible is me, myself. I'm not going to put the blame on this guy or that guy or this guy's doing this. How come I can't do this? And because me. Ownership. Play by the rules to the utmost of standards. Period. Either comply or get the hell out. We got to stay safe. We got to keep the public safe. We're producing food for human consumption. Farmers, you need me to help you. Bang, we can do this. How much does it cost? Great question. Not that bad. We're going to do the labor ourselves. That's the most expensive part. Materials right now are kind of costly, all right? If you did the exact thing that I did right there, okay? $6 grand. That's everything. The air conditioner in the sink. You know what was expensive? Drilling the hole in the floor and through the foundation. That was a pain in the ass. I'm not going to kid you. But it can be done. It's not that big of a deal. Take ownership. We can do anything. I will help you. Please, guys. If anybody, any oyster farmer out there needs a hand, I'm here to help you. 631-902-0836. Full transparency. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram. Thanks for watching the show. I love you guys very much. I got it off my chest. I'll see you next time. I want everybody to be cool. I want everybody to be kind. And now I got to get to work. I want everybody to be happy. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. 30 minutes on the nose. Perfect.